Alright, welcome back to the channel. Today we will be taking a look at some Karens and some interesting moments and some wholesome moments as well. But before we get started, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you're new to the channel. So in this first video, we have this lady that recently went viral because she went up to a girl and said her skirt was too short, so she grabbed it and pulled it down. One of the girl's friend was recording the encounter. Even though it was only like 25 seconds, I can't show the footage because it's copyrighted, but we are gonna look at the police body cam footage because after a while, when the video went viral, she decided to call the cops to get the video taken down. But check it out for yourself.
Are you Ida?
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
Good.
Good to meet you. So these little girls have continued to incite a mob, and I've been harassed all day. Not only did you take it, they took it down from St. George Post and her Facebook, but now she put it on Instagram and now she put it on TikTok.
Okay.
No, I remember you look at my Instagram account and they've been harassing me all day. So I turn notifications off and everything, but they are trying to reach out to they're inciting someone that reaches out for personal information to people to get their personal information, okay. Or someone that is known to like hunt people down.
Okay. Like FBI?
Not FBI, but someone that can, I don't know, what do you
It's just a person that will either reach out to communities or through various ways they are able to obtain information and they share it.
As like a private investigator?
Yeah, as a private.
Whether the goal is to get somebody fired, to something like that. They continue
to tag this guy and reach out to this guy to find it, my personal private information.
Sure.
And all of my stuff is usually private anyway. I don't normally disseminate my stuff out there, but in this particular situation, I told them who I was because not only were there minors involved that were all seated around me, but my son was present as well. And so that's the only reason why I was like, listen, charges can like happen. You're hanging out, your private parts are hanging out in private in front of minors. That's not something that you should take lightly, like cover up. But it doesn't give them the right to disseminate my information publicly like that and to try to harass me to the extent that I've been having it. Like, I believe I'm 100% in believing in freedom of speech but when you omit, delete, and make it seem like one situation is totally different than the other and then accuse me of sexual harassment without the facts, like at some point something needs to be done and needs to be stopped, and they have a reputation for doing this, which is why none of the minor kids wanted to get up and say anything. And so
the video she posted has currently reached 517,000 views.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
It just kind of blew up.
People
it's
are
far her most viewed video. It just kind of.
And it's because she's putting me out there as like a sexual
Karen. Just
the hard part is even if it's edited and made it deleted, obviously you could be looking at slander if it's not completely true, but the fact that you did touch her skirt, she can claim, if she wants, she can claim sexual battery, right? Mm-hmm. She hasn't. There's no legal investigation right now on either of you. Nobody's in trouble right now for any of that stuff, but it would have to be founded, right, on both ends, right? We know that you saw this, but we don't have any video evidence of her hanging out. We don't have any witnesses that have come forward and said this is what's happening other than I only have your account.
Because most of them were men, and I forwarded you a text message of the person that was with me that was a male, and it was like, I would be arrested in a nanosecond if I was sexually accused of like touching someone inappropriately.
Oh yeah,
right?
Not touching, I just mean they saw the witnesses come forward. There's documentation for it, that kind of thing. But
because of the sensitivity of the nature, and everyone thought she was a minor because she did look like a minor, and there was a ton of kids. It was the high school ball.
Did you think she was a minor?
Yes, I did. I actually thought she was, and that's why I was like,
I just don't understand. I don't understand why you went up and touched her.
I didn't touch her as a person. Like,
I mean, you could find it. But you see how that looks, right?
I got a standing ovation from everyone that was seating behind me.
That's totally beside the point legally.
So just for some context, the people that she said that they kept tagging under the video to try and find out who she is most likely the Danish guy or this other guy named Tizzy, I think. I don't remember the exact names, but they usually find Karen videos that people tag them in, and then he finds out who they are and basically reports them to their employers for their actions. Also, the cop makes a great point by saying even if she had an issue with her skirt, that it didn't give her the right to just walk up to her and touch her. I mean, this is why minding your business is very important, but let's continue to watch.
A kid by touching another kid.
It's protecting a kid by covering their private parts.
Correct, but that's not your job to do.
Well, they weren't covering up, and
call us. That's what I was trying to tell you.
I was trying to. You could see me on the video trying to dial the phone.
You told me that it would take too long for us to get there, so you did.
No, that's what But I was trying to dial you guys, but because they had everyone storming in, and you could see how they were being.
They thought she was sexually battered. That's
her
claim.
That's her claim. That's her claim.
And all she knows is somebody grabbed her from behind.
No, because I told her that her parts were hanging out. And then when nothing was being done and all the little kids behind me were just staring, that's when I proceeded to cover. And I was trying to dial. I mean, you see me on the video where I have my phone in hand and I'm trying to dial, but I couldn't even dial. And then that's when the owner was coming up. So it's all
I understand that
perception.
there's inappropriateness with how she's dressed. I can totally understand that portion. I can understand that things got blown out of proportion, and I can understand your standpoint from it. But I guess, what do you want me to do?
Well, the post needs to come down, and they need to
That's
stop.
freedom of speech. There's no crime.
Not when they
can say whatever they want.
No, but I mean, they're reaching me. I mean, all their little friends.
Have you told them to stop talking to you?
No, because
try that.
No, because then that is me instigating them.
But that's the only way that they can be harassing you. If you tell them to not contact you and then they contact you, then that's criminal.
Well,
if you don't say anything and you're engaging in it, then this is just a civil banter that. The unfortunate thing is you're held to a little bit higher standard than that.
Oh, but then if I engage in the conversation, then that makes it appear like
you don't have to.
I am.
I'm just telling you, I can't do much. Legally, there is no. I can't tell them to stop posting anything.
So what would be your
freedom of
best
speech.
advice for her to respond? Should she come up with a drafted response of, please do not contact me any further?
That's what I tell everybody that has any claims for any type of electronic communication harassment. The hard part was, if they do contact you, yeah, we're going to have a crime. I'd have to contact these girls. But is that their real names? Where do they live? Like, I don't have their information. You don't know them. We just know that they have accounts.
I
could look it up.
No,
they got business accounts with their information.
Oh, okay.
And then
I can reach out to them if they continue to harass you. That's
and then
upon certain requirements.
And then not only do I block them, and I just, I block them and I take a screenshot, but they're now making up fake names.
Right, that's part of the harassment. So I haven't contacted them because I don't have any legal reason to yet. If you tell them to stop contacting you, then I can reach out to each one individually and tell them they can't contact you. It doesn't mean they have to put their videos down, but they can't contact you by indirect means or by direct means. So if they make a fake one, technically it's a Class B misdemeanor for every message they send after they've been advised by me or law enforcement that they cannot. Which it sounds like they're probably going to continue doing that, so they'll be looking at their own charges. But as far as legal, I know where you're coming from, but legally, I can't, and I would be unconstitutionally removing those videos.
So our best course of action is going to be coming up with a draft response saying to
post it on that.
Yeah, just to not talk to you.
To contact who do they contact?
Just saying.
Well, no, because I've obviously contacted. See, the problem is that people, they're under the perception that I, for no reason approached her. I just touched her inappropriately, right?
For sure.
And if I was a mom and my daughter came and told me those circumstances, I would be pissed and I would be contacting you, right? But because they haven't done that, they're not willing to, and I haven't, addressed it. I haven't approached it. I haven't said anything. I've been pretty silent.
That's the best way to approach it, because everything blows over. The more you incite it, the more it's going to get views. It's going to blow up. Then the problem you're going to run into is if she comes to the department because of this and she decides that she wants to go sexual battery against you, it's going to be her word versus yours, and your word versus hers for the lewdness. And I'm going to end up submitting charges for both of you to an attorney for them to decide, because I wasn't there. I don't have witnesses. I don't have documentation. I have a video of that potentially is edited. I'm not going to use that as evidence. So that's what we could, I mean, each of you could equally be investigated right now. I would prefer that, I don't like charging people ever.
So at this point, the cop is trying to make it very clear to her that at this moment, there's nothing that he can do and nothing can be done. And technically, she's the one who can get charged for touching the other girl. And it seems the mom hasn't noticed that she keeps digging herself into a deeper hole, because if she would have minded her business in the first place, that viral video would have never happened. Also, her escalating things by actually calling 911 to try and get the videos removed is only making these cops investigate into her a little more. But let's continue.
So that's the only reason why I was like, if you don't cover your private parts and someone goes and reports it, like, it's worse that you're 18 or 19 because you're an adult and there's, right?
Sure,
so,
but and it would have been perfect if we would have been there to help that.
Right.
Now we're in a limbo where you have acted in a capacity that was also inappropriate and illegal. Technically, as it is a crime. You cannot touch somebody if they do not want to be touched, and especially if it's in the area. If you pull her skirt down and that's touching her buttocks.
Well, I didn't touch her buttocks.
But her skirt is.
Her skirt was way beyond her buttock. I mean,
I'm saying what was she say?
About her privates.
What will she say? And the classification for disorderly conduct for you touching her is nothing but sexual battery is a class A. And how do we prove that?
Well, just contact your employers, let them know the situation and that they might be getting.
Well, I talked to one of the attorneys, and they're like, I talked to my boss.
What did they say?
And she was like, if she actually was showing her body parts and we can interview that 10-year-old, she's gonna get charged.
For sure.
And I was like, and that's what I was trying to avoid. I was trying to avoid anybody putting her in a predicament.
Do you know who that 10-year-old was, or where to find him, or the dad, or anybody?
I know the little boy, well, because I was sitting there afterwards and the dad was like, thank God somebody did something. He's like, my son should not see that. And he goes, if I reported that. And that's how we got into the whole conversation with everyone seated in the area. And that's how we assessed they were all minors except for that dad.
I'm a parent. I understand where you're coming from. I would not want to see that either. I don't want my kids to see that.
Yeah.
But I can't approach that myself. Even me, and she's being lewd. I don't have the right to cover her up. I can take her to jail, but I don't have the right to touch her. Or cover her up because I feel that's what's
her clothing.
Or an extension of her. Same thing.
Her clothing. Well.
If you can.
What's really sad about this whole situation is that the men that actually wanted and could do something and wanted to do something out of fear didn't, because this is exactly what have happened. Yeah, and it would have been
that's the
worse.
That's where we live in now. Everybody's entitled to their pronouns and their hormones and whatever else, and unfortunately, that's just where we're at. And anybody can just claim anything, and most of it isn't true. Yeah. Most of it isn't true. And the other thing we have to look at, right, is, okay, 10-year-old witness comes forward, dad comes forward, everybody in that place comes forward, and then her group comes forward and says, nope, this is the clothing, this is what she saw, this is the documentation, these are the pictures that they actually have, and it shows that it wasn't right on their end, tampered or not. Now what? Now we're just back to the same square root of, well, let an attorney, as high up attorney, judge, whoever, they're going to have to make that determination at that point, because I wasn't there. I wasn't called. It's like a hit and run that happened 2 weeks ago for me. I'm like, how do I know this happened? How do I know you didn't take a hammer to your car? I know you didn't, but how do I prove it?
It just goes hearsay, basically.
Yeah, it's totally hearsay at this point. If you have the only documentation we have is potentially a tampered video that doesn't meet slander if all it is a posting without them like actually introducing something new to it that is false.
Due to the shortness of her skirt, it was like this, and you could see everything open. And that's why I was like, so I stood behind her, and I was like, go like this with my clothing, and I was like, you know, you should probably cover up. And then at that point, she turned and she was like that, and And I was like, oh my God. And that's when the dad was like, cover up, you know, and then the mob rush of kids started coming in. And that's at that point where I was like, oh my God, like you need to cover up. And that's when I pulled her skirt down to cover up, because instead of like covering up and backing up and saying, okay, is my skirt down? No, she proceeded to like lift her arms and move with her friends, and it kept going further up and further up. And that's why I was like, oh my God, somebody like cover it up.
So they're gonna end up talking to the group of girls right after this, but the thing with this is the fact that she still thinks she's in the right, because I understand that she wanted to say something, and saying something is completely different than from actually, you know, putting your hands on somebody. So her saying something, okay, I think it wouldn't have been blown out of proportion, because I mean, it's still not her business, but whatever. If there was kids in the areas and she wanted to say something, she can. But once she grabbed her skirt and pulled it down, I mean, that's where she pretty much lost in this case. But let's continue to watch.
And as you can see, they were mob rushing at me as I was trying to stand behind her to cover her butt.
And the information they might have is that they think you're sexually assaulting there. They don't know, but that's what they're hearing.
Correct.
It's
Exactly.
a protection aspect.
Yeah, but in this respect, you know, there's the issue that I have is that if they continue to hit somebody to try to hunt me down, then that's more than just putting the story out there. That's more than just posting a video and letting people decide for themselves, right? Now they are trying to get somebody to come and hunt me down and find me to put my personal information out there. Yeah. That is way
They can't
more.
post certain things about you, but it's not like
What things would?
Like they couldn't post anything they couldn't post your social. They couldn't post your driver's license information. You know, I mean, maybe they could. It's still public. It's whatever's public record is not going to be as protected. But if you're talking like financial documents, you're talking your social security. No, it's public database. It could be looked at. It could be looked at as an issue if you had somebody show up and that was the case. Then we have an issue that's the problem. But the reality is, if they are, the best thing you could do is if you are feeling this way, because a lot of it's civil, right? I can't do a whole lot legally,
right.
But you can still go to the 5th District Court and like obtain temporary POs and whatever, restraining orders, documents to where you can take action against them for that information if a judge sides with you on that. Because he could be like, yeah, I could see how having your address put out on there is a danger to you, because now if these people are going to be angry with you and they think that they're going to come find you because you touched this little girl, right? And then you got somebody showing up on your doorstep. Now we have a problem. So they could look at it that way. But it's amazing what information isn't protected constitutionally. Now we have city stuff, but
is private and blocked, and like I don't disseminate anything on social media. We were actually, you know.
I changed her usernames and I altered her names to not include her.
A lot of my like
your best legal defense is to reach out to them and say, do not contact me. The police have been notified. If you reach out to me again, that will be a crime. And if it's clear.
Okay.
And if they continue to message you, they can say hello. They could say, ha ha, Class B misdemeanor.
Yeah, I stood my ground even though they had more.
Even standing your ground though, if you would have never touched her skirt, I mean, I'm filing on her all day.
Yeah, I know.
Right? I have that against her, and I would be reaching out for those witnesses to say, is this happening? Because if this is happening, we got a problem. But now, if I investigate this, it's most likely going to come onto you as well.
Yeah, no.
And I don't want that to happen for either of you. I don't want you to be exploited in the internet by any means. I don't want anybody to have to go through that.
Yeah, but I'm an adult, you know what I mean? And if people were to hear my side, it would take a totally different.
So make a.
You think that?
So repost your own. You have the right to it, and say here's the second half of the story, and find your own witnesses, and you can do that, right? The same that you can. It's just, is it worth it to you?
No.
Not sure.
No, because
And I promise this fizzles out very soon, because there's not. If you haven't reacted yet through even social media and stuff,
I haven't.
She published the news.
Like if you haven't reacted, you've got to. It's doing this immediately.
Yeah.
People will scroll to the next.
That's why I fuse to feed the frenzy and add, cinders.
And
I just don't want anybody posting, because I do have my son, my 17.
For sure, safety first.
Yeah.
And I do. In my line of work, I obviously understand what sympathizers are, right? And they don't need the full information. They just need enough to get heated, and then maybe they show up somewhere they shouldn't, or they have an opinion that was just planted in them, right? Those sympathizers have been known to cause issues. It's just how far does somebody take that? They take it about 2 minutes before they scroll to the next video.
Yeah.
So she came up, did that, and then she touches me, or she does that, and then she says, "You're underage, you should probably hide that. If you think I'm underage, why are you touching a minor at all? Especially if you think I don't have underwear on."
Yeah, the logic wasn't there.
No.
For me. That's why I was wondering when you mentioned that you thought she might be drinking, I thought there was a judgment issue maybe going on too.
Right. And then she
See, I think at this point, the best course of action for her was just to leave it alone and let it blow over. I mean, we all see that there's always a new Karen at least once a week, but her trying to prove her point by saying if only people would hear her story like she is a victim, when the cop clearly said that either way, she would still get in trouble for this if he has to investigate this, is mind-blowing to me. I mean, come on, realizing a battle you can't win can save you a lot of money and time by avoiding jail and court cases. But let's continue.
Came back up a second time after Avery came up. Our other friend Avery, fun fact, same name, she was standing right next to her, and the second time she came up, she touched both their hips and squeezed them,
like pinched us,
and said she was going to call Child Protective Services if she saw
and then the rest
she
was on video.
I saw the video, and I think 57,000 other people saw it too.
Yeah.
When the first time, so she never said anything, you turned around, when the first touch, was that just skirt or was that your body?
No, that was my body and my skirt.
So my perspective was, because I had the perfect view of it, she's sitting on the bed tray, and it looked like she got up and said something to her husband or the dude that she was with, handed him something, and then she just sassily walked right up to her, and I don't think she said anything. She just pulled the skirt down, then says something, and then walks back. And then that's when I told her, I was like, hey, she just pulled her shirt down, that was weird.
And then we all started talking.
So then there's this group, they're talking, they're saying this stuff, they're all looking at her for probably maybe 80 seconds, 90 seconds. And then she gets up again, comes over, and that's when they started going back and forth. I let her go for a sec, and then I went over and was just kind of tripped. And I'm like, what are you doing? Don't talk to her, you have no right, blah, blah.
And there was mention of where she was saying, in the video she said, I don't want to see your whole ass cheeks, right?
Yeah, but yeah.
And even if it was a little bit of, let's say, butt exposed, right? You're not talking your correct?
I had shorts and underwear on.
And so she's also claiming that it couldn't have been on because she saw, like I said,
and fallen,
in detail, that's why I asked those questions, just to see.
She's a video of her going.
I got that video, and that's why, so I can confirm that too. I'm just checking that you were wearing underwear. You were wearing shorts over your underwear, underneath the skirt.
Footage? Okay.
And the full video and everything.
The footage of the restaurant?
Oh no, they
I'm in contact with the boss, and I asked her before any of this was happening if I could have the footage, and she
just requested that I go ask.
Huh?
Did she request that?
Well, she said. So she asked her husband to send it to her, and apparently he was working without her or something, and they both decided to just send it into you guys instead, you guys take it over. But I don't think they sent it in.
They would need an incident number, which I can give.
Yeah,
and I can even go pick it up. It'll be pertinent now. So really, she came forward with claims of the harassment because she was being
harassed.
It's not harassment. It's not. There's free speech. You can put the video. She was worried about the videos. Now, when it comes to the messages that were going to her Facebooks and stuff, she was replying back, but some of them were derogatory enough that it could be looked as harassment. But it doesn't sound like that was any of y'all.
No.
Fake accounts.
Was TikTok does its thing?
Yeah, it went so viral that the world.
Yeah, and she was worried about her safety for sympathizers. If they showed up her house, her personal information gets aired. Obviously, she's worried about that. She has kids. I told her that's all valid. Nobody should be going that far with this, but it's not that. She's not asking for people to do that, right? Yeah. So it's still free speech. You can post a video. So that part's not the harassment, right?
Everyone saw it. So.
Right.
We had people. I had someone come up to me in the middle of the restaurant, and he pulled me over. It was the people that she turned to after she talked to us. He was like, I'm so sorry that happened. Are you guys okay? And I was like, we're fine.
That's probably why she told me she doesn't want to involve her son at all. Okay, so I told you I'd do a full investigation if they came forward, right? So they came forward with their side of the story. I only had yours. After listening to everything, totality about everything going on, I've talked to Sakura. I got some of their video. I've got the TikToks. I think most everybody in the city has that TikTok. And then we've got your statement, her statement, so I'll try to make it as unbiased and fair as I can, right?
Okay, now this is where we're about to see the results of her actions, and I'm sure she did not expect this at all. I also think it helped the girl's case by having her friends who were there when the incident happened, because she had her witnesses there. And I think that's where the older lady messed up at, because she kept claiming she had witnesses, which were other parents, to justify what she did, but none of them were there when she was making her statements to the police officer. So let's see what happens next.
I do have some concerns from what I've been told by them. Obviously, some things you've also told to me, right? Even when we talk two wrongs don't make a right, when we were talking about that, I said, there's criminal behavior that's happened, regardless. And the other aspect was, if she was exposed and there was a lewdness aspect, would I investigate it? Absolutely. And that was the other claim, right? Those are two little things. The electronic communication harassment we've addressed. Everything that's come in now is going to be from who knows where. And even mentioned, like, I don't even live in the country, some of these text messages that you're getting. If anything comes in further, you're probably going to have to report that to Santa Clara where you live for the electronic side, because that's going to be now an internet-related crime that's not related.
Well, it's happening while I'm at work, like during business hours while I'm at work, which is why you
in the city?
Yeah.
Where are you working? Typically with something like this where I don't have video, if I didn't have video footage, it'd probably be going a different route with this, because there's video footage and because of the claims made, and I have to protect victims. Today you're going to be placed under arrest for sexual battery. Okay? So that's the unfortunate side of all this.
You're arresting me?
Yeah, right now you are under arrest, okay? So if you'll just face my sergeant and you put your hands behind your back.
Okay.
Don't reach in your purse, please.
No, I was just trying to put that.
Just follow those instructions.
And just relax your hands here.
Do you have a vehicle here?
Yeah, I do.
It's something
No.
We can keep it protected.
Come get your car.
I'm sorry, what?
Is there somebody we can call for you to have them come pick up your vehicle?
Yeah.
Okay. Who is it you want to call?
Probably my 17-year-old is at home. So.
Control.
Just double lock them so they don't cinch your button. That way they won't cinch on you. I know it's unfortunate, Ida, but what should I do?
Well, I mean, honestly, I was honestly thinking she was a minor, and she should probably keep it covered because of the kids that were.
But also, a minor to minor is a lot different than an adult to a minor. It'd be worse if she was an adult, no?
Well, no, I was looking at it from a mother's perspective. Like,
what do you have any type of pocket? I don't.
Yeah, I do.
I'll just search those instead of going and trying to pull everything. You don't have anything concealed on you that's illegal? Drugs, guns, bombs, that kind of stuff? Wearing a bra?
Yeah.
Nothing in your bra?
No.
Okay, they go through a body scanner, so just tell everybody that. I'm not concerned with you shooting me in the back of the head. Are you going to do that?
No, I don't. Okay. No, I honestly
These are just standard questions we have to ask everybody.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, I'd do a full search on you, but I understand the circumstances here, so you can just walk this way. Don't want you to follow. Okay. These ones work, so I don't have to reach over. You just slide in. Backwards is the easiest.
Oh, I actually can get in.
Okay, watch your hands. Thanks.
Alright, so the next video takes place in a train where this girl was going to work, and according to her, the train was pretty packed, so she decided to sit in front of this older lady, and at some point the older lady asked her to move to the seat next to her so she could put her feet where she is sitting. So the girl didn't like the way she asked, because from what she said, it sounded like she wasn't asking but more like telling her to move. So she didn't move, and the lady decides to put her feet on top of her lap, and that's where things get crazy, but check it out for yourself.
Me. You're getting your fucking shoes off. Stop it.
Time and she just is.
That's why
She's creating a fuss.
people can sit anywhere they want.
Right. She's pretty crazy. I love her.
You were actually harassing me. You were touching me without my consent. Do you realize that?
I'm sorry, sweetheart.
And this is up until I decided to sit here. Your feet were in your space. But please, thank you.
I think you should stop the train for her.
You decided to move your feet and touch me. Get your feet off of me! How fucking dare you? You're 75? You should be fucking ashamed of yourself. You were acting like a child.
Who's the child?
You!
You're the child. You have the whole train to sit on, but you want to sit with me? And all
These are empty seats. There's plenty of space. You did not decide to do this until I sat here. You were the one causing the issue. You decided that you were all high and mighty. You got to sit in your high pedestal. And when I decided to come sit here, you decided to cause the problem. And you were still touching me.
If you continue to sit there, I will. You'll be fine. Look at all the seats right there.
No, I'm not going to move because this is ridiculous. You are the one who was harassing me. You were touching me without my consent. You're touching me. Get the fuck off of me. You're getting your fucking shoes off. Stop it.
Fine.
No. How about that? Your feet are still right there. If I have my feet here, they're in my space. You're taking up the entire area. This does not belong to you. That seat you paid for does. Not right here. This is where I paid for so I can sit.
We're done. You're fine. Enjoy the ride.
Thank you. You too.
When I put my feet up, I'm going to put them up.
No, the fuck you're not.
It's okay.
And I hope he's got a cop on the train. Yeah.
Thrown out the window. Sorry that this is happening. I'm not that sorry. What's the practice? She's fine now. She's calmed down.
No, I'm still not okay. I'm just trying to have an anxiety attack.
I just...
Please.
You just have to separate, that's all. It's all good.
I could have put my feet up eventually. She's not going to like it if she doesn't move. But right now we're fine.
No, because she wants to put her feet on me.
There's even seats up there to put your feet up.
I'm not moving.
The older lady ended up pointing out that there were more available seats now. I guess some people got off the train, but I think it was more the principle for the younger lady because of the fact since she started putting her feet up, she didn't want to feel like she's basically backing down from her because she's telling her to move. So that's why she stayed in her seat. And also I did find that the older woman's behavior was real childish. The way she kept saying that eventually I'm gonna just put my feet back up and that she was gonna put her feet on her again. But we got the part right now where she explains, kind of gives an update about exactly what happened, so check it out.
So the situation had escalated to the point where the conductor grabbed the cops because what I was doing clearly wasn't doing anything. I know. But I am a person who has very severe anxiety, so I was getting to the point where I was having a panic attack. The police came and was trying to talk to me, and I gotta say thank you to the woman that was sitting behind that hag who stood up and told the cops what was happening, because I was in full-blown panic attack mode. I couldn't verbalize anything, and whilst I'm having a panic attack and I can't speak, I'm crying because I'm overwhelmed, this lady is mocking me for being anxious and talking shit while I'm trying to talk to the cops about what's going on and what she's doing to me and how she's harassing me and even probably even assaulting me at that point. But it got to the point where they ended up diffusing the situation as best as they could. She pretty much got a slap on her fucking wrist of don't do it again, and they walked me to a different area to sit instead of removing her from the situation. But that's besides the point. So, oh, and she offered me fucking crackers. After doing all of that, she offered me crackers. No, I don't want your fucking crackers. No, but that's my first go around with a Karen. Would not recommend it. Don't want to do it again, but unfortunately I can't control that. The good thing is, though, my best friend said she's going to give me a lesson on how to be mean, aggressive, and intimidating, because I need that. I'm a little too nice, let's be honest.
All right, that's about it for today. So if you enjoyed any of those videos, let me know down in the comment section which one is your favorite one. Also share with your friends on social media. And yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it at that. And we out.